So this is my official good morning to you. Here's our waiver, which you have seen before. Just be careful in your own space. Sometimes you're in a different space and you're not used to the pitfalls. So just fall. Also, you know, we're all in different places always. So do what's right for you today. And I'll try to offer you cues to keep you safe and engaged and happy. Oh, and also jokes to keep you engaged. But anyway, okay, we're going to start standing. So come on up if you're not up yet. You're probably up faster than I am. Getting my music on. Not only is it motivating to me, but it keeps me on track so I don't take too long in any one thing. So I'm going to start let's start in a wide parallel. Bend your knees just a little bit, shoot them over the toes, and then draw them back up. So not a full squat, but just a little bit of a activation. I want you to feel the glutes warm up, find the four corners of the feet, and make sure your knees are tracking properly so we don't have any weird rolling in or out. As you exhale, start lifting that belly up. Last three, so it should feel small, but really alive. Last two. Last one. Beautiful. Now let's roll the shoulders back and down as we hug the belly to the spine. So it's very easy for us to forget the abs, to sort of leave them behind and forward. But this is a Pilates class, so there's not too many things we do where we leave the abs behind. I hate to tell you, in case you didn't know. Beautiful. Now hands on hips. Lift those heels and turn them in so you feel that activation. And you're now in a narrow second. Let's come back to parallel. Turn them in. Come back to parallel. Turn them in. So we want to really let this happen from the back body, not from the hip joint in the front. One more time. Beautiful. Inhale, breathe your arms up overhead. Exhale, pull your arms wide and slide down the wall. And if you're not wide enough, find wide for you. With an open heart and active shoulders, just pulse into the outsides of the feet. Notice how you feel today. Is it easy to be engaged, or do you feel kind of sluggish and scattered in the brain? God knows I can be guilty of that. Last 4 and 3, 2, and 1. Relax the arms. On an inhale, float up to 5-point star. So it's like a little starfish. On an exhale, bend your left knee, bend your left knee and come into side lunge. Now we're going to turn into crescent lunge. So we turn toward that left knee. Bring the hands behind the low back. Inhale here. Exhale, bow the head down in between the knees. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, arms out like you're hugging a tree. Twist toward that front knee. Come back to center. Bring everything back to your second position. Slide down that wall. Inhale, lift up to your starfish. Exhale, side lunge over, this time into the right knee. We'll stay here for a breath, and then we'll turn to that front knee. So we're in lunge. Breathe your arms behind your back. Inhale here, nice long tail. Exhale, bow if you can toward your ankle. Inhale, lift up. Bring the arms around like you're hugging a tree. Turn toward that front knee. Back to center, back to your second position. Inhale, this time breathe starfish. Hold everything long, shoot energy out the fingertips. Exhale, flip the palms forward, slide down to that second position. Hands come to the inner thighs. Let's drop the left shoulder and twist. Drop the right shoulder and twist. Use your legs. One more time to each side. Inhale. Exhale. Oh, I love this one. Beautiful. Come back up in the center. Your legs can stay bent or straight. Arms like a goalpost again. This time we'll side bend. Let's just go to the right 4 times. And once your arms are set, you're not moving them. You're arching those ribs. Yeah, tail is long, dropping down through the legs. Other way. And up. 3 more times. All in the side body. Last one. Beautiful. Now turn the toes forward and come down to a flat back stretch. So it would look like this from the side. If it's hard for you to be flat all the way to the ground, you can use blocks or your shins. One more big breath, rolling the heart forward. And then bring the hands to the thighs, standing cat and cow. So exhale, we tuck the tail under. We spin the elbows out. We round around the sternum. Inhale, stretch the crown and the tail. And you can narrow up your legs if you need to. Do what's right for you. 3 more times. Exhale, round. Relax the head. Inhale, lift. Last 2, round. Extend. Last one, round. Extend. And this time when you round, let your hands go. And then really slowly stack up your spine. Find your alignment. Articulate through the spine all the way to standing. Beautiful job. We're going to get the abs form on the mat. You don't need anything to start here. All right. So come on to your seat. Have a little space behind you. Feel those sitting bones sort of rock side to side. And before we move, let's cross the legs and sit up tall. And take the rib cage and breathe it into 3 circles in one direction and then the other. Inhaling and exhaling, almost like you're in a hula hoop, but at the rib cage. And release. Soles of the feet together, maybe a little flutter. Little butterflies. I'm thinking of spring. I'm all over the pollinators. Now stand on those feet. Gorgeous. Stretch your arms out ahead of you. Lift your heart. Inhale tall. We're going to make our way to the mat slowly. Exhale, tuck that tail round your low back. Stretch across your collarbones. Inhale, stay. Exhale, roll down a little more, making that back even rounder, drawing the hips under you even more. Hold. Exhale, lower a little bit more, low back comes down. Inhale, hold. This would feel like low boat. Exhale, ribs down. Keep reaching the fingers, tucking the tail, and then releasing all the way down. Beautiful job. Bring those heels in a little closer and toes to the ceiling. Tuck your tail under and roll up to your bridge. Hold here. Imagine dragging the heels toward you, rolling the inner thighs in toward one another, and just feeling that general sense of strength in the back body. For 3, for 2, if your ankles feel like they're stressing, you can relax the toes. Last one, roll down through the spine. Okay, we're ready for our little ab series. I'm crawling off screen unintentionally. Sorry, right. All right, so land the heels. Feel neutral in the pelvis. Take the arms up above the chest. And then reach them back toward your ears without losing your ribs. There you go. On an inhale, curl your head and hands up toward your knees. On an exhale, tuck your tail under, lift your legs. Gorgeous. On an inhale, bring the feet down, curl up a little higher, lower down. Okay, so here we go. So it's inhale, exhale. Inhale a little higher, exhale down. We're going to do this a couple more times, then we'll add on. Inhale, reach. Exhale, stretch. Inhale, a little higher. Exhale, down. 2 more times before we add on. Reach for the knees. Stretch the legs. Curl up a little higher. And down. 1 more time. Curl to flexion. Reach. Protect your low back. Bring your legs down. Curl up a little higher and lower. Now we're going to add on, so just follow with me. Curl up and reach. Stretch those legs. Hands come behind the head. Bicycle to your right knee. Stretch it back out. Bicycle to your left knee. Stretch it back out. Bring the feet down. Curl up a little higher. Release. 4 more times we're going to try. Curl up. Lift the legs. Hands behind the head. Bicycle right. Stretch. Bicycle left. Stretch. Feet down. Curl up a little higher. Relax. 2 more times. Curl up. Stretch those legs. Hands behind your head. Twist right. Lengthen. Twist left. Lengthen. Bend the knees. Curl higher. Lower. 1 more time. Arms overhead. Curl up. Stretch your legs. Protect your low back. Hands behind the head. Curl to the right. Come center. Curl to the left. Come center. Legs down. Go a little higher. And lengthen down to the mat. I hope you felt that one. All right, split the feet apart, turn them out, curl back up to your bridge. So you're in a wide turned out position. Squeeze those glutes up and in. Just sort of stretch out the abs for one moment. And then roll down through the spine nice and slowly. Turn your feet to parallel but wide. Arms come out as you windshield wiper the legs. Slowly side to side to release the work in the low back. Use your breath for 3, for 2. Last one. Come center, give your knees a little hug, maybe a little rock side to side before you rock yourself up to sitting, or you can always roll onto one side. So hopefully you feel nice and warm in the center. Forget cold weather, right? Got our own little mini furnace here. Okay, so for this next time, we're gonna use one block and one weight. So I'm just gonna show you that this is our start position. Now, if this isn't right for you kneeling wise, or it's too much work in the glutes here in the front of the hip, you can lay all the way down on your hip, okay? Otherwise, we're here. You can also use, a different level of block, and you could be on your elbow as well. I'm gonna be nice and uplifted. Okay, so here I am. It's like almost a half moon prep. Weight in my left hand, left leg long. So I'm gonna bring that weight towards the hip first. Stretch the left leg away from me to keep my ribs lifted and press up. Now, if your hand were here on your bottom, that's where you would feel the work. Make sure the leg is not behind you, not good for the low back. Little presses. Press through that heel and think about length down the whole side body. Doesn't have to be high, has to be active. Yes, for 8, 7, lift the belly, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, hold it up, a little bend and a push out. Push out, again, from the glutes and a little bit of hamstring. Push, resist the air. Imagine moving through sand for 8, 7, 6. We really want to fire up these glutes, so think about where the work is. 4, 3, 2, 1. Now hold that bend and bring the weight a little lower. We're going to lift up and then we're going to push back. Lift up, push back. The hand on the block should be really light. Lift up, push back, so that you don't feel like you're falling into the block. Your torso is lifting you. Last 3, push. Last 2, last 1, release. And we'll switch sides. So easy, right? Okay, so long leg, weight on hips, stretch that right leg away from you. Little pulses up. Squeeze your glutes on the right. Some of this is brain work, That's it. Lift those ribs. Nice tall spine. 4, 8, 7, 6, 5. Breathe through it. 4, 3. Second side's always harder. 2, and 1. Little bend. Push away from you. Push. Like you're trying to hit a target with your heel. Lighten the arm. All torso and belly lift. For 5, 4, 3, 2. Keep that bend. Bring the weight down. Little lift, little push. Lift, push back. Now, we shouldn't feel this in the low back, okay? So if you are, you're probably having a bigger range of motion than you need to. Almost there. Last 5. Use your breath. 4. And 3. Those buns are going to be so warm. Last 2. Last 1. Release. Gorgeous job. Okay, we're going to come up to stand, and we're going to use the chair. Okay, so I'm going to start on this side. I'll use my bar, and then I'll move to the other side. You're fine wherever you are. Okay, so we're going to start in a little first position, and then we're going to take your outside leg that's away from the bar and breathe it around front so the heel touches the toe. You're making almost like a little lightning bolt shape. Square your spine, your hips, your shoulders to me, and we're going to lift and lower. So gaze out over that beautiful horizon. I don't know where you are right now. I'm sure it's gorgeous, but you can imagine, right? So we're just lifting the heels, lowering the heels. Sort of stay in the middle of the range of motion and breathe. You want to really wake up those inner and outer thighs and calves. One more breath. Good, now hold it up. Breathe your outside arm up. side bend to that bar. So now the calves are working isometrically, so draw them up away from the floor. 3, 2, 1. Arm comes down. Let's take this outside leg. We lift up, we tap behind, we tap in front. My back heel is lifted. Unless that's not working for you, you can always put that back heel down. But we really want to challenge that inside leg. Last 3 and 2. Last one, you've got this. Bring the heels together in a first. Bend those knees, little tucks. Squeeze the heels together. Or 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take that arm, reach it across your bar and open and sweep. Rotate the ribs. Just 2 more times, holding that heel hover if you can. Last one. Release. We'll go to the other side. I'm set up. You might have to run around your chair. That's okay. Outside leg comes across, heel touches toe. We square up, lift the pelvic floor, and we float up and down. So make sure your other foot's in front this time. I know it sounds simple, but it's a common mistake to make. And then you're imbalanced all day. And I don't want you teeter-tottering around. Last 4, 3, float and lift. Draw your quads up to help. 2. Last one. Now we hold it up here. We're going to side bend, little bends toward that chair. Breathe your arm up, but then work through your ribs. Hold those heels hovering for 4. You've got this for 3. Breath is so helpful for 2. Last one, arm comes down. Let's take that outside leg, pick it up and place it down. Back and front. This always reminds me of a scene from a very famous movie where people are dancing on a log. Last 2. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't wanna get myself in trouble. Last one. Now bring those heels together. Slide down that imaginary wall. Tuck and release your tail. Lots of effort between the heels. 3, 2. Now we stretch the arm across, we open. We stretch across, we open. Hold that heel hover. Last 2. Last one. Release. Shake it out. Stretch it out if you need to. Now, if you have a band that's small, you could put this on above the knees. If you don't, no worries, okay? Now that the calves are warm, the glutes are warm, the belly's warm, we're gonna get into the quads a little more. So, I'm gonna be behind my chair, which you can be too, but I think it's helpful for you to see me from the side a little more. So do whatever works for you. Okay, so I got my chair in front of me. Actually, you know, yeah, that's fine. Chair in front of me, starting in parallel. So I'm gonna start with my left leg. I'm gonna step it back to lunge and bring it in. Step it back, bending both knees, bring it in. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. I get the heart rate up maybe a little bit on this as well. So I'm pushing into that band, but I'm not coming so far back that the band wants to roll up because that's just annoying. Last 2, last one. Now I'm gonna hold it back and pulse up and down. So everything is very linear. A lot of attempt at right angles, a lot of work in that full front foot and in the front glutes, a little more work in the back quads. For 4, 3, 2, hold it down, rock those hips side to side, little rocks. For 4, 3, 2, now I'm gonna hold it, I'm gonna extend my back knee, bring it down. Extend it, bring it down. Let the belly help here, especially when the quads get tired. So draw that knee in from the pelvic floor. Last 4, almost there, 3, 2, 1, shake it out. We're ready to switch. So I'm just gonna turn around. Nothing different, just to my better side. All right, here we go. Step back, opposite foot, step in. Step back, step in. Inhale, exhale. You got this, guys. Be light on your chair or your bar, whatever it is you're holding on to. 4, get those glutes engaged so the knees don't flop around. Last 2. Last one. Now bring it back, bend both knees, little pulses. Light, you don't even really need to hang on. Press those feet. Skewer your hips together like little corn cob handles. 4, 3, 2, hold it down. Rock side to side. You're almost there. You got this. For 4, 3, 2, 1. Now we're going to extend that back leg. Bring it down. Extend it. Bring it down. The front leg keeps a little bend. Last 4, 3, 2, and finish. Beautiful job, guys. If you have a band on, you can take it off. I'm going to grab a quick sip of water. And I think we're coming to weights next. All right, let's grab those weights. I just realized I left the heat on in here, which I never do. It's nice to take the chill off, but once I start moving, I'm warm. A hot tamale, spicy Italian, as I say. Okay. So we're going to start with some purely arm work, arm and shoulder work. And then we'll slide into second and invigorate the legs a little too. So I'm going to suggest you start in a first position. Palms come up. Now we're going to squeeze everything to the midline. So inner thighs, heels, glutes squeeze together, belly lifts away from thighs. Exhale, sweep overhead in a circle. Inhale, back down. Now it's so tempting to lift from the tops of your shoulders, but we don't want that. We want to leave lots of space around the ears. Thinking about blocking one of these lights for you. See if this is any better. It's like I'm lassoing the sun. For 3. And 2, empower your back. Now the next one we're going to bring up and hold, but we'll bring the palms to face each other. We're going to pull down on the left, down on the right. You're like a door hinge opening, but you've got to be really careful that your ribs do not open that way, okay? Swan lake neck. Beautiful. That's it. Pull down into the lats. And try a couple more. For 4. And 3. Here's 2. And 1. Bring your hands by your sides. And just roll the shoulders open and closed to release that work. The 5s get heavy overhead for sure. Okay, once we've shaken that out, we're going to do some I's, Y's, and T's. Make sure you have space around you. So lift the weights straight up in front of your shoulders and down. Y, lift them to a little Y or V. T, squeeze shoulders to spine. Good, use your exhales every time you lift. Up, out, back. You got it. Keep moving. We're going to try this 3 or 4 more times. Don't let the neck get stressed, okay? Just jumping in with you. You're probably ahead of me. Try 2 more. I, Y, T. Don't let the body rock. Last one. Y, T. Gorgeous. Step out to your second. I felt those. Slide down. Turn your palms up and open and bicep curl. So moving into a muscle group in the arms that's stronger. And then using those legs, challenging the legs. Maybe you add a bend and a stand. If you stand, get into the muscles, not into the knee joint. Yeah, pull the glutes in, lift the belly. Almost there. For 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. We're going to finish with a tiny bit of mid-mat work after this. 2 and 1. Come on down. Flip the palms behind you. Press back. So the chest broadens. The shoulders retract to the spine. And we reach down, almost like we're plowing into the earth. Think back more than together. Last 7, 6, 5, 4. Feel the scapular move. 3, 2, 1, release. Heidi-ho. Okay. Now we're putting the weights down, but we're not going to give the arms a tremendous amount of a break. So maybe shake it out, give yourself a little hug, a little stretch if you need it. We're going to use the seat of the chair for this next part. So if we were in the studio, we'd be doing bar push-ups, but that doesn't work for everybody. So let me just say, we're going to try to do some push-ups, offset push-ups with the chair. This is hard work. If you'd rather go to a wall and do some wall push-ups, great, or rather just be on the floor, great. Okay, so this is what this is going to look like. You're going to have your chair facing you. And for intermissions, we'll do a little plank work. Doesn't that sound great? Sounds just like intermission, right? Popcorn, little wine, or plank. Okay, so I'm sort of facing the chair on this diagonal past the leg. And I've got one arm up and one arm down. And they're wide. They're fairly wide. These are going to be chest push-ups. I'm going to walk my knees back to plank and tuck my toes. Now, the chair hand, not doing much work for you. This is mostly the arm that's on the floor. So we're going to bend halfway, push up. Inhale, exhale. Now, we all have different chairs. So if your chair is up in the air and crazy, then bring your hands to the floor and try to focus on one arm. If it's too much for the shoulders, again, bring the hands to the floor or the wall. Last two, last one. Good, now, bring your hands together to make a little triangle right under your heart. Split your knees way apart. And you're gonna bring the elbows wide and pretend that you're trying to tap your heart to that little triangle. So the hands are closer to the rib cage than usual. And this is to get into the triceps. Last 3, 2, 1. Now back to that offset, but step into plank. Hold for 4. Again, it's all about the hand on the floor, and you could be here. 3, 2, 1. Sit back. That was hard. So you're going to turn to the other side of your chair. I'm going to swivel it. So your opposite arm is up. Other arm is down. Walk it back. Tuck your toes. Little bend, push. Remember, it's never about your chin. So there's none of this. Right? Those ears stay above the shoulders. Try anywhere from 4 to 6. Now, I don't have as much range of motion in this arm, so it feels like a big stretch for me, which is fine. Just make sure it's not pulling. Last one. Now tuck those toes, lift. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring the knees down. Swivel onto your bottom. Legs forward. This is the last little finale here. Fingertips facing your body. Hugging your elbows in, chest proud. Bend halfway. In the arms, not the torso. And push up. So don't fake this through your belly. Bend into those arms, little tricep presses. For 8, 7, and then we're done with this side. 6, thank goodness. 5, hug those elbows in. 4, 3, 2, done. With that. With that. All right, we're gonna come up to stand. This should feel a little nicer. I'm hoping. So we haven't done this series in a little while, and it used to be a fan favorite, and I really love it too. So light hand on the bar. Stand in a little V. Take your outside foot and press into the ball. And then push into it. I always say, this reminds me of another movie. And I always say, imagine that you're snuffing out a cigarette, which really, none of you probably have any personal experience with, but I'm sure you can imagine it, as seen in movies. Last 2, last 1, and then come back. Soften that inner leg a little, dangle the outer leg, and draw a figure 8. So imagine your knee making this sort of sideways infinity symbol. Yes. So it should feel like your pelvis supports you and you can swing freely from your hips. Last two. Last one. Now land in. Flex that foot. Kiss your knees and then push back. Again, this is mirroring something we did, sort of a spiral curriculum today, earlier on the mat. Pushing back from here. And notice my back is not doing this wackiness. For three. For two. Last one. Beautiful. Now come up to stand. We'll bend and extend 4 times. And both knees extend. Last two. Last one. Beautiful. Stand tall. Run it out slowly before we come to the other side. That was a surprising amount of work for me. All right, turn it on around. Little V. Outside leg comes, not on the toe, right on the ball of the foot. Push. And what you're trying to do here is use the floor to help you turn your femur bone. Medial rotation, external rotation, through its sort of full range of motion. Use that floor. Remember my studio joke used to be, maybe I'll get a little pedicure. Last two. Last one. Now bend your inside leg a little, dangle that femur bone, and draw the figure 8 with your knee. Same concept, turning across the body and open. For 4, 3, 2, 1. Now land in, knee to knee. Push back through that flexed foot. Little push. Standing leg is bent, so it's working, but it's also keeping your back safe. For 6, right here. 5, 4, breathe in. 3, 2, 1. Now full curtsy. Bend, extend. For 4, 3, 2, last one. Run it out. Nice and slow. Take your time. Okay. We're going to use one weight for this next standing song. And we did a lot of arms already, but relax knowing that this is more about using your abdominals. So one heavy weight is probably good enough, or even one lightweight, frankly. Okay, so what we want is to get the pelvis neutral, which I tend to love being turned out for that and using the whole midline of my body, but you could also be in a little bit of a parallel. Just watch the low back on this. Okay, so shoulders are going to roll back and down. We're simply going to start with overhead reaches. And again, this isn't about your arms. This is about your ribs staying together and down. So, and lower. I'm not really coming up any higher than my eye line. I just want to feel that belly turn on at the top. Because if I didn't use my belly, everything would be rocking up and down, right? The torso. Last 4 and 3. Use that breath 2. Last 1. Now, of course, it's a little bit of arm work, so shake it out. Take the arms in front of the chest. Turn to the left, center. You can bend the elbows if you need to. Turn, center. We want to feel this across the torso. For 3. For 2. For 1. Step to your second position, slide down. So we're going to come from second, turn and push. Second, pivot the foot, turn and push out from your hip. That's it. So again, getting the obliques involved. For 3. For 2. Really twist it around for 1. Come back to center. Stretch the weight ahead of you. Turn to the opposite side. This shouldn't hurt your low back, and it shouldn't pull your hips with you. So think about the rib cage. For 3. And 2. Last 1. Back to center, step it out wide. Slide down, lunge and push. Inhale, center, lunge and push. Lunge and push. For 3. For 2. Last 1. Quick transition down with the weight. So the weight is going to come just behind your right wrist. Shoulders over those hands, hug the forearms together, broaden the shoulders. Full plank. Now take the weight in your right hand, put it behind your left. Take the weight in your left hand, put it behind your right. Keep going. Could you do this with your knees down? Yeah. Because guess what? It's about the belly. Let's try 4 more times total. 4, 3, turn it to rock and roll. 2, last one. Knees down. Relax. Swing that weight side to side. Okay. We might be done with weights. Hallelujah. Come on up. All right. 2 more working songs, and then we stretch. So we have a little bit of a challenge. We're going to start standing. We're going to make our way down to the mat as we go. And we're going to use the small band if you have it. If you don't worry. There's plenty of opportunity for work here. Okay. So right above the ankle bone, you don't want pressure right on the bone. So a little tiny bit above. All right. So this is going to be a little bit of everything. Glutes, quads, arms, abs. We're going to try to hit it all in this last challenging song. Okay. So we're going to start in a wider fifth position. We're going to bring the back heel up. So I'm in a little bit of a curtsy here. I'm going to bend and squeeze up. So I'm pushing out into the band and I'm widening my feet, excuse me, my knees. My feet aren't moving. And then I'm really focused on squeezing up here. That's it. So I'm going to turn. You can see me. We're not coming under with the pelvis. We're nice and neutral, moving up and down, getting into the thighs one last time. For 8, 7, incorporate your glutes. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now shift forward into the front leg, bend that knee, and push up and back with the back leg. Push through the heel. Squeeze the glutes. No tension in the low back. For 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Step wide, switch sides. So opposite leg back, we're turned out, back heel is lifted. Bend, squeeze up. Inhale, exhale. Lots of whooshing energy. Up through the midline. For 8, you got this. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep the bend in that front leg. Stretch the back leg long behind you. Light hands on whatever you're holding on to. Push 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stand tall. Last little bit of effort for the legs. All right. Sit to a chair. Lift your belly. Weight back. Let's move the right leg. So we're going to come out, in, out, in. Pulse. Feel work here. Yes. Stay low. You got this. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Transition other side. Out, in, out, in. This is the last bit with the legs, I promise. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one. Beautiful job. Now let's get ready to come toward the mat. I want to make sure you have your chair near. Okay. We're going to walk out to plank and back up 4 times. So at the back of the mat, we roll down. We push into the band if you have it. We walk out. We come back up. Roll up through the spine. 3 more times. Your best plank position. Don't let the hips dip. Last 2. Last one. Drop your knees. If you have a band, release it. Beautiful job. You still have that band? Hook it around or right above your wrist. You can have a block between your knees if you're someone who likes to get swishy in the hips. Exhale, tuck your tail. Hug that belly and squeeze that block. Twist. Draw a little rainbow over the knees. Ring out that waist. You got it. For 4 and 3, 2, last one. Release. Nice work. Okay. No more band. If you used a band, great. You didn't have a band, no worries. Okay. So we're going to do a little more traditional Pilates and rolling through the spine a bit. So if you have a block, you might enjoy squeezing it between your ankles or your shins for help with rolling down and up. Up to you. So stretch those arms. If you can forward fold over the legs. Push it on the block, roll down to the mat, reach overhead. Breathe it up. Stretch your arms out from the side. Spine twist. 3 pulses right, come center. 3 pulses left, come center. Round if it's right for you. Tuck the tail and roll. Gorgeous. Use your breath. Inhale, exhale up. Unravel that spine. Twist right. 2, 3. Squeeze it on that block. Left. 2, 3. Surrender over your thighs. 2 more times. Roll down. Roll it up. Sit tall. Twist. 2, 3. Center. Twist. 2, 3. Surrender. Last time. If you can. Roll it up. Sit nice and tall. Twist. 2, 3. Last twist. 1, 2, 3. Center. Roll down, but remove your block. So now we're going to incorporate a little more abdominal work in the roll up. So we're going to roll up to teaser. So start with your feet down, arms overhead, ribs rolling. Sweep out and around, roll up, reset. Roll back down, sweep out and around. Try that a few more times. Back down. If this is simple for you and you want to progress a little more, you can try legs long. Reset. But you really got to be able to roll through that low back. Try 2 more of whatever version you're doing. Last one. Now, everybody, come up to here. Lift your arms. Tuck your tail under if it's not. Lift your legs. Little 100 position. Now stretch arms and legs, low boat. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower it down. Roll over onto your stomach. Find the 4 corners of the mat. Make yourself into a little chromosome. On the inhale, lift your right arm and left leg. Exhale, lengthen down. Inhale, left arm, right leg. Lengthen down. Stretch without hiking your shoulders, without gripping your hips. 1 more time to each side. And then if you can, lift it all up. Pull your elbows down. Bend your knees, bring your heels together, toes apart like a little penguin squeeze. Squeeze shoulders to spine, squeeze heels and glutes to center line for 4. This is the grand finale. 3, for 2. Release. Hands come under chin or forehead, bend those knees. Slow windshield wipers side to side. Ah, gorgeous work. We're going to stretch now. Well-deserved stretch. Okay, so we've got an opportunity to sort of kick the stretch up a notch. So if you want that, you'll take your chair and bring it facing you, but at the back of your mat. So you're going to face away from the chair if that helps you. And you'll keep a block handy nearby. Okay. All right. So you want to be about your legs length away from the chair, which I know is sort of hard to imagine. If you wanted to set up, you could set up like this and then sort of swivel. That might work. So let's lay on down. Bring the block under the low back and the hips. Good. We're going to do a few stretches from here, and then we'll add on if you wish. So land your right leg and hug your left knee into your chest. And as you do this, push down with the right foot. And you may find that you actually activate the hip flexors on the left a little more and encourage a little more release. Seems strange, but it works. One more breath here. Now extend that leg to the ceiling, pull the heel up to the ceiling, and start to lower the leg away. We want to open the front of the left hip. Now you may have to stop before you hit the ground if your whole back is going to arch and collapse. If you can hug the belly in and keep the tail kind of long, keep the leg alive, you might be able to hit the heel to the mat, but it should feel like a stretch in the front of the left hip. No pulling, either in the hip or in the sacral area. One more breath. Good. Now let's get the back of that hip. So we're going to bend that knee, stretch, and pull into one-sided happy baby. I have to come onto my toes on the right for this. It's really hard for you to reach. You can bring your leg up in the air to tabletop. But we're trying for one-sided happy baby. One more breath here. Good. Now float that right leg in the air and bring the left heel across the right for your reclining pigeon. My block is getting a little flunky. Make sure that block is supporting your low back. Flex both ankles and encourage a flat, stable back of pelvis and an open left side hip. One more breath. Beautiful. Bring that left leg to the mat, hug the right knee in. Remember to stand firmly on the left foot. Root it down into the earth and see what it awakens for you. And then stretch this leg to the ceiling, flex through the ankle, and start to pull it down toward the mat with the goal of opening the hip. And again, if you end up really in arch, it's probably not right for you. So hang on here, hang on across the belly. It should feel like a very active stretch, not hanging out in the joint at all. One more breath. Now bend the knee. I'm going to stack that heel for one-sided happy baby. Other foot might stay down. It might have to lift up. Do what's right for you. You could come to the toes. Breathe into those hips. We use the hips a lot in life. And in an emotional time, we tend to hang on there, hang on to trauma. Bring that left leg in the air. If it's not, right heel over left knee, flex both feet, open the back. And breathe. Use your hands as needed. Use your breath. Breath, the work of stretch, right? Especially when we're holding stretch. The breath lets the stretch undulate a little bit, right? It comes in and out, it expands and contracts so that it's not truly ever passive or static completely. Okay, now from here, let's stretch the legs to the ceiling. Take the heels together and toes apart. Make sure you're not going to hit your chair. We're going to draw the legs toward us to stretch the hamstrings. You could walk your legs up, your arms up the legs, excuse me. But in this elevated hip position, that might not feel good on the neck, so be careful. Really turn out and see if you can elongate the backs of the thighs. Now from here, I think I scooted again. I'm like an inchworm today. You can either bring your legs just straight up in the air, or legs up the wall. You can bring your legs to supported bridge, or you can have an elevated plow, so you can breathe your legs to the chair. I'm tucking my toes, I'm lifting my tail. I'm bringing my thighs somewhat parallel to the mat. They're not falling onto my chest. And I'm relaxing the head and neck. I can shake my head no. Then I stretch for the low back if it's right for you. Not great for people with osteo. So plan ahead. We're gonna roll down to the mat. You might wanna remove that block now. Take your time. Roll it down. All right. Let's roll over onto our bellies facing the chair. If you can't see me, don't worry too much. I think you'll be okay. Okay, so first quadricep stretch. So we'll grab the right ankle or foot. I think I'm gonna use my block today. Under my forehead, just to keep my neck long and relaxed, not effort there. It's crazy how many things we do where we effort through the neck. I was just joking with Peggy and my students the other day saying, there's nothing I'm gonna ask you to do in here that's gonna be like, yeah, let's really work the neck. You know, so when you can keep it long and relaxed, please do. Open the right shoulder and the front of the right hip. If this doesn't work for you, you could always do this standing or rolled on one side. Last breath here. And then gently release and switch sides. Take your time. Try not to hurry this. Get everything in alignment again so the knee comes back under the hip. Ears stay over shoulders as much as possible. Roll the left shoulder open a bit and press the left hip toward the mat and really elongate the thigh. One more big breath here. That's lovely. And gently release. We're going to split the feet and turn the heels in. We'll come to breaststroke prep arms. So little goalpost arms. We'll roll the shoulders back and down and float up to an upper extension in the spine. So the ribs are still down and the glutes are not clenched. Okay, this is spine work. Now you can continue to press all the way up, lifting the belly to support it. You can even grab a hold of a chair leg or two if you wish. Look out over the horizon and then turn your gaze over your left shoulder. Come to center, turn your gaze over your right shoulder and release. Lower gently to the mat. We're gonna come into frog, which is really a love or hate thing. So your knees will stay wide. You're gonna lift your belly up and you might even draw your knees under you a little more and widen them apart. We're gonna come to the arch of the foot, so the feet are outside, and then maybe breathe your way down onto your elbows. This is for the inner thighs and groin, and it can be quite intense. So staying a little bit forward lessens the intensity. If you're not on a squishy floor, this can be tough. So you can always just sit up and do butterfly knees. But you can also press your tail back a bit to intensify the stretch. Do what's right for you. Just one more big breath here. And then take your hands to the mat. I like to bring my feet together and come up. Okay, beautiful. Let's come to the chair. So we're on the side of the chair facing forward. Good. So the leg that is closest to the chair will step forward and we'll slide into a nice comfortable lunge. We're gonna open that back of that hip a little bit more. I have like a halo, huh? Look at me, Angel Amy. And add a side bend to this. So we'll breathe the arm into the shoulder socket. And if you wish, side. One more breath here. And sit up and release. We're gonna turn right around. You don't have to face me. Step that opposite foot forward. Come into a nice supported lunge. Breathe your outside arm up and side bend toward that chair. Hopefully that feels really nice. One more breath here. And then lift it up. Turn and face the chair. Tuck your toes under. Lift your hips up and back for downward facing dog. You can bend the knees and lift the tail a little bit. Stretch the hamstrings, shoulders, calves. One last breath here. Gorgeous. Now on one, step it forward. We're gonna end seated. That sounds nice after all your hard work. So a couple stretches here. First, we'll come into this seated goddess position. You've done this with me a million times before. It's so great for the QL. So we'll drop that right elbow inside the right thigh. We'll bring the left arm to the low back and try to open the heart to the ceiling, stretching into the QL on the left. If you need a little more, bring the hand behind the head. And if you're ready for even more, stretch the arm, but without rolling forward toward the mat. One more breath. Lift up tall. Other side. So we drop down on the left. Right arm comes behind the low back so we can really stack the shoulders here. Maybe comes behind the head. maybe reaches over that so you really reach hip into the chair, fingers away. And lift up. Beautiful job. Sit with at the front of the chair with your feet under your hips. Take that left arm, breathe it up and behind us, grabbing the chair. And take the right arm across to the outside of the left knee. A tall inhale, exhale. Squeeze back over that relaxed left shoulder. And then release and sweep around, other side. So the right arm comes up and back, left arm comes across. We inhale tall, exhale twist, relaxing the shoulder. One more big breath here. And then sweep. If you want a tiny bit more extension, grab both sides of the chair, tip your pelvis forward and lift your heart and chin. Last breath here. Gorgeous. Now surrender over your legs. Bring your feet underneath you, push into your feet, and slowly roll up through the spine. Heels of the feet together. Little first position. Arms up overhead, set your ribs, set your shoulders. Inhale for final balance. Lower with care for 3, 2, 1. High release. Finish. Bravo! Beautiful job, everybody. So proud.